Hanamile? Let's see what we are talking about. So we said in the Rabbah before, if somebody does tovel, dips in a vessel inside another vessel, and there is no enough water to go in. We said yesterday, keshefoferet hanud, the tevilah from Torah doesn't work. Even for chulin and teruma. Why? Because the water goes in, is not considered connected to the mikveh. Even though the water goes in, it does not consider connected to the mikveh. V'hane milem bekeli tahor. Wow. We are talking about the keli, the outside one. It itself is tahor. You don't need to take it to mikveh. You just put it in for the need of the second keli, second vessel. Aval, but bekeli tameh. If you have two kelim and both of them are tameh, impure, what's going to happen? Bekeli tameh. Migo the salka tevila lechule gufe demana. Salka lehunami lechenim deitve. Wow. He says, even though there is no enough, the hole is not big enough to water to come in, since the outside keli, the vessel is itself is tameh, and tevilah works the one for the outside, the one also inside gonna become tar also for chulin and teruma. For chulin and teruma. Wow. Why does it make sense?
But the other case was when it was.
If the outside is even very, very interesting. If the outside one is tahor, it's not gonna work because the water goes in on for the need of the keli inside. But if you have the outside keli is tameh, since it works for the first keli outside, it works for the keli inside also. How do we know? Wow, this is very interesting. This nan, in the Mishnah, Mishnayot Mikvaot, Perek Vav Mishnah Bet, Kelim Shemilean, Kelim, you have certain kelim which are tamem, and if you fill them up with the other kelim, other vessels, vehitbilan, and you take them for tevilah, hare'elu tehorin. It's going to be tahor for teruma. Even though it's not a certain size, they should be keshefoferet hanud. Ve'im lo taval, ma'im hame'orabim, atyu me'orabim keshefoferet hanud. But if he is not doing it only for the one inside one, the outside one already tahor, what's going to happen? The ma'im, the water, which is me'orabim, it goes inside the keli, is not going to work on the keli inside unless you have the width of kishfoferet hanut. Very interesting. So Gemara gonna go on this Mishnah now. Ma'igam, what it says in the Mishnah, ve'im lo taval. What does it mean ve'im lo taval? Hachigam. Ve'im eno sarich lehatvilo. If you don't need to take it for tevilah, which is pure, it's tahor. Ve'ma'im hamo'orabin at shiur me'orabin keshofer hanut. Then, when you come to do only the keli inside the other one, that is going to work, consider me'orabin, mixed with the water in the mikveh, if you have the certain size of keshefoferet hanot. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting halacha. Okay? Now, this is understanding of that Mishnah. The Gemara wants to say this is not going to be according to everybody. If this is Gemara going to say this is machloket Rava and Rabbi Ila. If you remember, we have the Rava Rabbi Ila before. The Gemara going to use it to say that's a machloket. Beha, this is going to be the machloket, the Rava and Rabbi Ila. That's going to exactly the machloket why you cannot put one keli, one vessel inside another vessel and take it to the mikveh. Okay? For Kodesh. Remember, we had the machloket. One opinion says because of chatzisa. Okay? Why chatzisa? He says because of the right. Or because of the gezerah, maybe the keli outside is not going to be the certain size, shehoferet hanot. Okay? But in that case, if you have a keli is big enough, there's not going to be any gezerah. Tannahi. This machloket between Rava and Rabbi Ila is machlok Tannaim in the Mishnah. The Tanya, in the Braita, Sal v'gargutni shemilan kelim ve'tvilan ben lakodesh ben lateruma tehorim. So according to one understanding in the Braita, keli betoch keli, one keli inside another keli for kodesh, is the isur is because of the keshofoferet hanot, and the case of the sal v'gargutni is wide enough to water would go in and it's going to work. Abba Shaul says, La teruma avalo lekodesh, for teruma, but it's not going to work for kodesh. Why? What's the reason? It's because chasisa. If it's because of chasisa, because the hefsek, the water cannot get everywhere, even you do the sal v'gargotni. So this is going to be like Rabbi Ila. So it's actually that you see the machlokes of Rava and Rabbi Ila is a machlokes of Tannaim.
So Ila also says that you could put a thing inside, jug inside another jug and put it in the mikveh, get inside another jelly and put it in the mikveh, and then.
One more time.
Abba Shaul also says they could put candy inside another candy, and then it could be like once in the mikveh because it's also a chatzitza.
Once again, Shaul says that teruma v'la lakodesh. What are you saying?
Oh no, say this.
Okay, so let's go. So now, very interesting part. It seems like from the Braita is machlokesh only on the kodesh, not for teruma. Okay, so Gemara says ihachim, that the reason you cannot keli betoch keli, one vessel inside another vessel for the kodesh because of chasisa, or because it's not wide enough, the water goes in. Teruma nami. Why only for kodesh? Let's make the same rule. It's going to be same halacha. You cannot do keli betoch keli. Gemara says, leman ka'amrinan chaverim. The halacha we said that you cannot do keli betoch keli, one vessel inside another vessel. That's only for chaverim. Chaverim means who?
People that are not
Right. People are very religious, and he is very careful in dinei tahara when it comes to purity. But people that are not chaverim, which call them ameh harasot, these people, they are not careful in tahara. They're not going to come ask us question how to do it. So therefore, these people, they're not going to listen to us. But chaverim meda yadi. So this halakha, only the chaverim, the religious people, they know how to do it, that is not going to be chasisam or it's going to be wide enough. So now, how does it answer the question? The question was, why only for Kodesh, not for Teruma? The Gemara says, the halakha only for chaverim.
They didn't eat from the Kodesh.
That's the next question of the Gemara. Let's talk about Teruma now. But before the Kodesh, it seems like Gemara asks a question: why this halakha only applies to the Kodesh, not for Teruma? Teruma also should have same halakha should apply. So Gemara says we are talking about chaverim. So if we are talking about chaverim, so we are thinking that they're gonna for Teruma they're gonna be careful. For Kodesh we are machmir. Now Gemara asks a question now. If that's the case, so Kodesh Nami, we are talking about chaverim. Let's make it mutar for them to do it keli betoch keli, vessel inside the vessel. For Kodesh also, because they're careful for the halachot. They're gonna make sure it's not gonna be chasisa. They're gonna make sure that the width of the hole, the water goes in, is gonna be big enough. So why we are machmir on chaverim for Kodesh? So Gemara says, even though the chaverim they know how to be machmir and to do it correctly, chazel amhares vazin matvi. Amhares, which is not a chaver, is gonna see him and is gonna do like him, and it's gonna metame kodashim. For teruma, we are not worried about it. For kodesh, we are worried about it. That the amhar is gonna see and gonna learn and make it tame. Gemara asks the question: is that the case? Teruma nami. When the chaverim they're gonna do the teruma keli betoch keli, listen inside the vessel. Chazel amhar is wazim matvi. He's gonna see and he's gonna learn. He's gonna do the same thing. Gemara says, "Lo mekabelin al minayu." Basically, kohanim they don't get teruma from ameharasot. Therefore, let them make it tameh. Who cares? For kadashim, no. Or I don't know. They have such a case exception, but they're gonna make it tameh.
The kohanim they don't take truma from Amaretz, but Kodesh they take from Amaretz.
What do you mean they take teruma? Kodesh from Amharas. What's the case?
Kodesh is when you bring
Korban doesn't become tameh when he's alive. The animal is alive doesn't get tameh.
no, but they get also part of the meat.
So who does it?
The kohanim get also part of the korban.
I understand, but it goes before it goes to the Amharas. They get it.
So why is the Gemara worried about them copying?
But the kelim they're going to give to them.
For teruma, we're not worried. So do you have a good question?
You're going to give them the kelim.
Okay, so Gemara says the Kodesh Nam inona kabe minay.
So what?
What's the case? I understand that's what Gemara is saying. What's the case that we accept the Kodesh from the Amharas?
Why they accept Kodesh?
Here Rashi says. Rashi says yain lenesachim Hashem lemenachot. Not the animals. You're talking about the yain and shemen, the wine and the oil.
Also the kelim they might do it.
Huh?
Also the kelim they provide, like maybe they'll put it in the mikveh and then.
So for the Kodesh we are careful. So Gemara says, all right, that's the case. Let's make a rule that you don't accept any kodesh or anything, right? Nothing from the Amaharis. Lo kaminayu. Gemara says, Koshnami lo minayu. Gemara says, answer, have yale eba. What's going to happen is going to be a eba over here. It's going to be basically hatred, sina. They're going to hate us if we don't get something from them. They're going to be machloket. Ah, Gemara says that's the case. The Kodesh is a hate. Teruma nami avaleva. So now Teruma also, if you don't accept it from them, it's going to be the whole fight. It's going to make fight. Lo ichbatle. When it comes to the Teruma, Amharat doesn't care that the Kohanim dar chaverim, they don't accept it. Why? The other Yahav le Kohen Amharas chavre. He's gonna go to give his friends, which is the Kohen and Amharis. Okay? But for the Yain and the Shemen, you cannot find somebody who's Amharis. It's a Bet HaMikdash now. Everyone is Chaverim. It means everyone worked in the Bet HaMikdash, the Bet Shabbat. Okay, very good. So that's all. That finished. Now I want to ask you a side question. Uman tana dechayesh le'eva. What's the case that Artana is worried that basically we are worried that he's going to hate us. Hatred going to come. Therefore, this is Kadashim, they could do it. Rabbi Yosehi. The Tanya in the Bright Amar Rabbi Yosehi Penemo Hakol. Ne'ma Tahorat Yain Veshemen. What's the reason? Even Ameharasot, everybody are believed when it comes to the purity of wine for Nesachim and Shemen for Menachot. Kol Yemot HaShana, the whole year round. In the order that if you don't accept it from them, maybe everyone gonna go and you know what? He's gonna make a bama in the front of his house. What is bama? Right. This is Asur. Since Beit HaMikdash was built, the Asur, everyone should bring a korban in front of his house. Now, if you don't accept it from him, what is going to do? It's going to go. This is the one in Mekor in the Torah. We see Michshol Lifnei Iver applies to everybody, even Amaharasot. You should not cause any Jew to do any Avera. Soref v'soref para aduma le'asmo. What is going to do? He's going to go get the para aduma and shecht it and burn it and bring it. Therefore, they made it mutar, chachamim, to accept it from them. That's why it is over.
To accept the wine and shemen?
Huh?
To accept the wine and shemen?
To accept the wine and shemen?
Yeah.
Kadashim. Yeah.
But it's not really explaining the hatred part. Like another reason.
What do you mean?
If you're not going to take from him, you're going to do it for himself. I'm going to come to Avera. It doesn't talk about he's going to hate you.
He's going to hate you for not taking you, and he's just going to go do it himself.
Maybe he's not going to hate you. He's just going to do it himself. It doesn't say like he's going to hate you. You know what I mean? Mantana dechash leva, the sinah. And then the explanation is not exactly about hatred. It's about the chashash that they will go and do something that's not permitted. You korban by yourself outside of
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think because they know it's not permitted, but they do it on purpose. And the hatred that they have towards the or not, yeah, oh, you're not accepting me, or I'll shoot you. I'll go do it myself. Like to do a job. I guess.
Okay, I hear your question. I don't know what's the answer for your question.
It says here something that because of the hatred, they're gonna force me not.
I know, but it's fine. But it seems from the what he's saying, you are not worried for the hatred.
Yeah, you worry for them.
You're worried that you're gonna do avera. Okay, so I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Another case because of the Evam, Amar Papa, Keman Mekabelinan Haidna Sahaduta, Ma'am Haris, like who? We accept the basically Sahaduta. This is Sahaduta? Testimony, right? Thank you. From the Amharis. Keman, Rabbi Yosef. Because Rabbi Yosef also says over there, if you don't do it, interesting. Over here, Mepharshim explained that if you don't accept them, they're gonna make their own beit din now. But again, it's not hatred. I don't know.
Could it be because of the hatred, the purposely want to do it?
So
Yeah, but when you say hatred,
you're missing the main cause. You're missing the main cause. You have to say because of the hatred. You're gonna do something. You don't need to mention me what he's gonna do. It seems from the Gemara, if they don't make their own bedin, in the last case, if they're not gonna make any bama, everything's gonna be okay. Even they hate you.
Yeah, but it seems like if you don't accept it from them, they go to the extreme. Like creating their own bedin or doing their own korban, that's like the most extreme they can do, no?
So don't say because of hatred. Say because
They're gonna do avera.
Yeah, they're gonna sacrifice by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. If you go to a rabbi, let's just say, and the rabbi tells you can't do it, as a respect, you accept his opinion, right? You say, okay, even though I don't agree or I don't understand, I accept your opinion. You take it. But if you go to a rabbi that you don't like him or especially you hate the guy, and then he tells you, oh no, you cannot do it, would you on purpose go and do it anyway? Because you don't like
No,
the
I
guy?
understand what you say.
But it seems like because they don't respect the opinion of the Kohanim, not take it from them, on purpose they're gonna go and do it. So
Okay,
isn't that like a
why
hatred?
don't the Gemara say we accept Kodesh from Am Haaretz, so they don't go and do sacrifice in a bama by themselves?
Right, because the Gemara knows that they don't have respect for the.
No, I'm saying instead of saying we accept it so they don't hate us, say we accept it so they don't do this act.
I feel like maybe
Like
it's
the
because
bottom
it's
line.
like gift. Like,
The bottom line.
Okay, I don't know. So now, so far we said that it's okay for them for teruma. They do keli betoch keli even though they're amharis. Okay, because we don't accept teruma from them. Gemara says when chush lish'ela, let's go have a chashash worry for the she'ela, which means if you let the amharis tovel to tevila keli betoch keli for teruma and chulin, okay. How come we are not worried that later on a chaver or Chavarim, they're going to borrow the keli of the Amharis. Okay. Huh? Why not?
Because they know that the Amaris doesn't keep the.
Okay.
So why would you borrow something?
It says here that now they're gonna show us place that Chaver do.
Do was actually.
دیتنن دیگه مرا مسخت ادیوت کلی خرس مسیل علکل دیره بتیله به چه عمریم اینو مسیل ال علا اخالیم و علا مشقیم و علا کلی خرس. What's the case over there? We're talking about the keli cheres, the clay, inside a tent, okay, or house, whatever it is, closed house or tent, and somebody died. Okay, one case is the Gemara, the Torah talks about samit patir, which means it's closed very tight. Okay, it's gonna rescue whatever inside the barrel. Since cheres only becomes tameh clay if it's open on the top. Okay.
The outside of it becomes Tameh though?
I don't think so.
So you could use it after that also.
Okay.
Oh, so that's so good.
And the machlok b'sham bat Hillel, okay, over there. That what we say is going to save whatever inside doesn't mean it save everything what inside, or only saves food and drinks and the keli itself. Okay, that's one case. Second case, you have a myth, somebody died in the house, and in the second floor, we have some kelim, some vessels, and some food, which is our tahor. And there is an opening to the second floor, from the first floor to the second floor. And Tuma goes to the top, okay? Now, somebody comes and use the keli cheres, the clay he has, to close the opening by using that keli he has, vessel he has. So Tuma should not go to the second floor, okay? Huh? Okay, I said before. So according to Beit Hillel it works. According to Beit Shammai it doesn't work.
Why not?
Because that only works to save whatever is inside, which is a food or drink, and the keli itself. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So Amrulai Beit Hillel Beit Shammai. So they said Beit Hillel to Beit Shammai, Mipenema. Why this keli cheres in these two scenarios does not save everything? The clay. Amru Beit Shammai they said, Mipenu Shu Tameh Al Gabe Amharis. We are talking about the keli cheres that belongs to the Amharis, was tameh from the beginning. Ve'en keli tameh chotzes. If you have a keli which is tameh, does not stop the tumah from going. So if that's the case, how come in the case of the closed clay, it saved the food inside? Let's see. Very nice. My question. How come you said if the keli cheres, the clay, is closed on the top, it would save the food, drink inside it? If it's already tameh, you should make them tameh. They said to Beit Hillel, we're talking about in a case I don't know what it means. Huh?
Two more words very important in the next one.
Le'asmo tiharnu. So we made it tahor only for Amharis. because they don't eat the food and drinks from Amharis, and they don't use the kelim of the Amharis. Aber neta'eret hakeli for other things, beside these things, shetaharota lecha velo is for you and for him. Basically, it doesn't work. So now, what do you learn from here? You see from here, the Beit Shammai holds the keli cheres of the Amharis only. Basically, doesn't save anything for other people. Okay? Only for himself, certain things he does. In a case, he's not going to be michshol for others. So we said the Amharis himself we could use. Okay? Anyway, they're not careful.
But if it's really tameh, so why would you tell him that it's not tameh?
Because he doesn't even come to ask anyway. He doesn't keep Tumatara in this scenario. So what do you get?
To do it the shogeg
I don't know. The Amharis will learn the Mishnah. We're not going to come ask you what to do, what not to do. The Mishnah is talking to me and you.
But he's still doing the Avera. No, he's
Who?
the Amharis, even without knowing.
One second. First of all, I want to ask you a question. Is it the Avera to eat Tum'ah each time?
I don't know. To me, it sounds like.
Okay, that's one question. Second question is, do they come and say what the Mishnah says, what we should do that way? I don't think so. It's just telling us what's going to be. But you could ask a question in the second part.
Wait, is it Avera to eat Tumah?
I don't know which Tumah. I guess which case. If you're eating the chulin, if you're eating chulin b'taharat kadashim, I don't think so.
Amharis, they drink wine is tameh.
What kind of tumah? The Rabbanan?
Tumah tameh.
I guess it's asur.
Let's say in this case.
I guess it's asur. I assume.
So it's better, but they say it's better for him to do it b'shogeg without knowing that he's doing it. Then you said for him it's also
he does it without knowing. They're telling him you can. They're giving him permission to do.
So how do they give him permission to do it?
They're clearly telling him, oh, for you it's
Only
go
for
do
him.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why. Yeah, it's ask you a question over here. Yeah. He's not going to listen to you, basically. Certain things they make it tahor. At least the other things they're going to listen. We have to pick and choose which case they're going to listen to. That's what we are doing. Okay. That's what we are saying already. Okay. Very nice. Okay, we stop here. Yeah.
So my question is that if they tell him that it's tahor and he could eat it, is the vessel still tameh or not?
No, we are worried about you borrowing from them.
I understand that, but if
They're not worried about them. You understand what I'm saying? They're not going to listen to you.
I know, but they still can't borrow, right? Because technically the vessel is still.
They're not going to borrow it anyway.
But let's just say if they did.
They don't. That's a fact. You have to take the fact. That's the fact. Nobody does it. The case says we are worried they're going to borrow. We make them to keep the rules. Okay? It's very funny now. You have a non-kosher and kosher vessels in your house. Some of them are tameh, some of them are not tameh. and you could borrow the clean ones. They are basically, it's just to see so many ties in the Gemara. So these people are not so into the halacha, which is they know more than me and you. They know how to do it. We're gonna see that even the time of they're selling the wine, they're selling the oil to the people, religious people. They keep everything correctly, so they get enough customers and the best customers.
So they know the din. They know the halacha. They don't keep it.
Over here, we cannot enforce it in this scenario.
But it keeps going.
Yeah. Okay. So with Hashem, Sunday 5:30. So